We'll proceed with the next interpolator. May I recognize Representative Rep.Acidre? You have the floor.
Mr. Chair, before I proceed to my interpellation, may I be allowed to make a brief manifestation? Good morning, dear colleagues, Mr. Chair. Today we gather to confront the troubling and complex reality of our times, the spread of fake news on social media, and the powerful role that repetition plays in shaping what people believe. It has been said that repeat a lie often enough and it becomes the truth, a phrase widely attributed to Joseph Goebbels, the propaganda minister of Nazi Germany. While those words come from a dark chapter in history, they reveal something deeply psychological and disturbingly relevant today. Modern psychologists would call it the illusion of truth effect. When people hear something over and over again, whether it's true or not, they begin to believe it. Repetition creates familiarity, and familiarity often masquerades as truth. In today's digital world, this effect is supercharged. Social media platforms, algorithms, and virality amplify repetition at unprecedented speeds. And at the heart of this ecosystem are individuals, influencers, who shape the opinion, values, and even the beliefs of millions. That influence carries weight, and with that weight comes responsibility. I believe, Mr. Chair, this hearing is not about silencing voices. It is about understanding how truth and lies compete in our public discourse and what role social media influencers play in tipping the balance. If truth is repeated more often than lies, even by a margin, say 51 to 49%, then truth can prevail. But if lies dominate the feed, even well-intentioned citizens may find themselves misled, manipulated, and misinformed. So today, we have the opportunity to ask tough questions. We seek accountability, and more than that, we call for a shared commitment to making truth more visible, more frequent, and more powerful than the lie. Mr. Chair, let me begin.
Feb 7, my Facebook was deactivated, so I created a new Facebook account just probably a week ago, or less than a week ago.
Maliban sa Facebook, ano pong mga social media platforms pang yung ginagamit?
I use TikTok but sparingly, that's it.
Tinuturing nyo ba na trabaho in addition to your professional affiliations itong pag-post nyo o paggamit nyo ng social media?
Personally, no, because I don't earn. My accounts are not monetized. But because I'm the social media head of Manila Bulletin, I have to be on top of what's happening on social media.
So you consider, again for the record, na your social media activities in a way complement your professional affiliation with Manila Bulletin?
I would say so, because if you're a journalist, if you're a writer, if you're an editor, you listen to what people are saying on social media, because that's how you get the pulse of the people.
Okay, thank you. Kailan ka nagsimula sa social media, if you still remember?
I'm sorry, I don't remember. Probably as soon as Facebook was created, I think maybe a year or two after I had an account. I don't remember exactly when.
So how do you decide on choosing your topics for your content?
My personal content?
Yes, for your personal account.
I don't decide. Facebook has a what's on your mind field, and what's on my mind in that moment is what I write about.
So you would say that all this are simply random, spontaneous thoughts that you have over?
Yes.
So, do you consider yourself, tinuturing mo ba sarili mo na influencer in addition to your professional role as a journalist?
I do not know. I'm not a self-identified influencer. I cannot say that I am an influencer, even if I do have a modest following that's below 500,000, because I don't do lives, I don't do YouTube, I have never gone. I only write on Facebook, that's it. I only write on Facebook. I don't do YouTube, I don't do lives, I don't do podcasts, so
But you are aware that with your significant, your modest following on Facebook, as you refer to it, uh, gives you a considerable audience to your postings. Are you aware of that?
not more than the others. Yes, I do have a modest following, but not more than the others.
But are
I'm
you-
not in the level of Thinking Pinoy, Sasrogando Saso, at Maharlika. I could still go around.
But
not,
we are-
not,
but
I could still go around not recognized by people. So no, I'm not an influencer because people don't know me, but I have a voice. Let's put it at that. I have a voice.
But then again, I'll bring back the question. Are you aware of the volume, the size of the audience that are listening, are reading your posts?
Yes, because the measure is the likes, the number of likes. So sometimes, I believe, syempre, I don't have proof of that, but in my previous Facebook, I believe that I was shadow banned. So my likes in my 480,000 Facebook was around 5,000, maximum 10,000. Now, this is a new account, and I don't think I've been shadow banned yet. I can reach as many as 50,000, even 100,000. So this is the new account.
50,000 for a single post.
Yes, for this new account.
Okay. Mr. Chair, just want to put on the record that to put everything in context, no, that the resource person on many occasions, several instances in her previous account, and I'm not so sure because I haven't seen the current accounts, have actually written about this representation, has made post against this representation, but I will take the advice of the good Congressman Marcoleta that we politicians, public servants should not be onion skin, and I will make sure that I'll be as objective as possible with my questions.
Can I reply to that, Mr. Chair?
No, I will continue with my questions, Mr. Chair. Mrs. Crescent, ano po ang klase ng content ng inyong pinopost?
Political, personal, lifestyle.
And many of these
Basically, what my life is in the public. Anything, food, films. Political is a big part because I am politically inclined. I like talking about politics, but it's not the end-all and be-all of my account.
How many percent would you consider those would carry political? How many percent of your posts would you consider would carry political themes?
In my old account, probably 70, 80%. I'm not sure. I don't measure it's spontaneous. I don't set out to I don't have a quota.
And you attribute this simply because you are
Because I'm very
politically
politically
inclined.
aware and I'm very politically passionate, sir.
Sa mga content mo, may naalala ka bang pinakamaraming engagements, views, likes, or whatever impressions? Yung pinaka nag-trending na post mo? Top of mind.
Sa old account, ang pinaka nag-trending na post was the death of Stan Lee. It's not a political post, the death of Stan Lee, the creator of Marvel. Sa new account, my sadness over PRRD spending his birthday alone in his cell in The Hague.
Yung sa mga political post mo in the previous account, ano po yung pinaka nag-trending?
I don't remember exactly, but it's always about the former president.
So sa tingin mo, bakit nag-trending isang post ni Crescent?
I don't know. Maybe because it resonates with people. Because I have never boosted a post. I'd have never bought likes, or I have never paid to get liked or followed. So I cannot speak for my audience or readers, but it's probably common sense that it resonates with them, that there are a lot of people who love President Duterte.
may mga contents na sinasabi na non-political o may mga post ka naman na masasabi mong hindi nag-viral, ano?
Actually, I don't know what the parameters are for what is considered viral. I don't know.
Or let's say, anong klase ng content naman, in your experience, ang hindi nagkaroon ng maraming engagement? May naalala ka ba na...
It does not, I do not look at how many likes I get. I
In
just
your...
write, and whether or not they go viral is not very important to me. I write what I write, whether I have 1 reader or 1,000 readers.
But when you post something, do you also engage with your those who make comments? Do
When I
you
have
reply?
time, I do. When I have time, I do.
And when you do that, have you considered ano yung mga dominant demographic ng yung audience na usually mo napapansin? Are these like-minded people? Are these... Mr. Chair?
Comsec.
Hello? Okay.
Okay na?
Okay. So, I assume that, as with any page, you attract like-minded people. So the reason they're on my page is that they read me because they think I think like them. So even with, and it's not just political, even if you have pages for hobbies or entertainment, the people who go to your page are the people who like reading that sort of thing.
And you think this is the reason also why people follow, they like, they comment your posts because they agree with your posts?
Probably, yes, I think so.
And you think...
But just to clarify, I also have people who go to my posts just to oppose what I say. So it's not as if it's an echo chamber. It's not. Because there are people who go to my page and there are people who are trolls. And when you look at their accounts, those are new accounts, locked profiles, and they say the same thing. So it's not there's no echo chamber in today's social media because there are trolls on pages and there are people who oppose what you say.
It's good that you pointed that out, but let me ask, do you think in your engagement with those who are posting, with your post, you think that the content of your post actually influence the minds of other social media users? Have you ever found yourself quoted, reposted, shared in other social media accounts?
Yes, they are, but I always maintain that they would not be reading my page if they were not already feeling or thinking what I'm feeling. And a lot of the feedback that I get is that people saying, you articulate what I am feeling, except that I do not have the words or the talent to say that. So I think majority of my readers are those people who want to express their frustrations or express their hopes, and are not just, I do not have my writing skills.
It's good that you mentioned about feedback. So, have you ever received feedback that people are actually saying, it's good that you exposed this, that you wrote about this because I'm learning, I get to know what's happening, I get to understand the issue more?
Yes, but that's not specific to social media. I am an editor, and if I write articles for the newspaper, it's always all the articles that you write, whether they're for social media or for traditional media, you're writing it to expose, inform, entertain, empower.
But let me go back to the social media. Let me limit to the social media posts. Have you ever received feedback saying that they have learned, they're thankful that you have exposed, they have learned something, they've been influenced by the information that you posted in your social media account?
Sir, I do not think that I am at the level of investigative journalist who have exposed something. I just say what unfortunately, I'm not the kind of journalist who can do exposés. So unless it's something of my personal knowledge, I don't think that somebody has thank me for exposing something.
So are you sure that in your social media post, whether in your previous posts or not, you have not exposed any public official or agency of the government whatsoever? Remember, you're under oath.
Not that I remember, and I know that I'm under oath. I don't remember anything exposing a public. And if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it in my job for Manila Bulletin, not on my page. So I am more protected by my office.
I will go back to the question. Ibig sabihin ba, sa social media posts mo, wala kang sinabi na nag-e-expose ka sa sino mang opisyal o ehensya ng gobyerno tungkol sa in the conduct of their official duties?
I don't remember any exposés I've done.
Mr. Chair, is it possible that the committee subpoena Meta for a copy? I understand that Meta keeps a digital copy of all the postings over a considerable time. I move that we subpoena the social media posts of Mrs. Crisette Chu.
There's a motion. Any second?
Second.
Any objection? There being none, motion is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I know you're a professional journalist, Crisette, and I know you're well trained and you studied abroad, and you have a good appreciation of what it takes to be a journalist. By referencing from that, would you describe the extent of your influence? How would you describe the extent of your influence online, and what responsibility do you think comes with that influence?
I am I'm not comfy with the idea that I am responsible for something because I just write. As I said, I'm very careful before all these Sir, Mr. Chair, before I was included in the top 40 vloggers, fake news, Pogo funded. I have never spoken my politics, not on YouTube, not on Facebook. I just write. So I don't feel like I am an important political commentator. I write what I feel. But I'm not one of those people na people will think about because I have discussed it. I have engaged with other people. I write what I say. I write what I think, and that's it. Sometimes I answer the comments on my page, but that's the limit of my political conversation. So if you're going to ask me what I think my influence is, then I cannot answer it. Maybe it's better to ask other people if they're affected by what I write and if they feel like I influence them.
Earlier you mentioned you have a following right now of how many?
About 250.
250,000?
Mm-hmm.
And in your previous account, how many?
480,000.
And then in your average impressions for every post is around 10,000, if I'm not mistaken. That's the number you said earlier.
In my new page, in my old page, about 5,000 to
In your new page,
about 10,000
10,000
in my
per
new
post.
page.
Don't you feel any responsibility to speak the truth and what's factual?
Yes, I speak my truth. I'm under oath.
I mean, what
yes,
I'm
I
saying
speak
is,
my truth.
don't you think having such a number of following with that influence, let me call that influence, that a certain degree of responsibility comes with it?
Of course, there's a responsibility. That's why I use my training in journalism to make sure that nobody can ever call me out and say it's fake news. I can make mistakes, but they're not glaring mistakes. And they're still going to be, I'm still going to have the same opinion from that same
So, Mrs.
mistake.
Crisette, you stand by saying that you are faithful to your journalistic training in the course of determining or choosing the content, the tenor, and the language of your post? Yes or no?
Sorry, can you please repeat that?
Do you stand by your statement saying that you make sure that you're faithful to your journalistic
yes,
training
sir.
in
I make
terms of
sure that
in terms
as
of
far as
let me continue first. In terms of the content, the language, the demeanor with which you post, you make your postings.
as far as I can, as far as I'm knowledgeable, I post what I feel. Maybe at the moment, maybe when I'm very angry, I post some things that are more inflammatory than when I'm more calm. But basically, those are my feelings. So, so sir, there will be times that I will be more angry
And the
towards one
postings,
politician over
Ms.
another
Crisette,
time. I'm still going to be angry at them.
Let me ask a question. So you mean when you speak something inflammatory on you post something inflammatory on your Facebook account, you don't mind whether people will be influenced by those inflammatory statements or not?
Those are my opinions, and I believe I have very intelligent readers. So if they think that I am lying, they can call me out. If they agree with me because they've used their own eyes, then they can investigate for themselves. Those are my opinions. Those are what I feel. If I say I don't like this person, I stand by it.
So you don't really mind if people, as a journalist, don't you feel that there's a need for you to...
I do not use my Facebook page. I do not identify myself
But
there.
earlier you mentioned that you make sure that you apply your journalistic training.
Meaning, I make sure I don't lie. Meaning, I make sure that I do not, even if I am inflammatory, even if I'm angry, it's still not a lie. I'm just more angry in one post than I am in another post. My degree of feeling changes per post, but the content will not change. If I'm angry at one person, it can be because I'm angry at one person, and the next post I'm still angry at them, but not as much. But
So
the
that
reason that I'm
changes.
angry at them is the same.
Okay.
Before we proceed, may I remind the resource persons, when you answer, please address the chair first.
Sir,
And,
sorry. Okay, sir, Mr. Chair.
Let the interpolator finish the question before you answer. Just a reminder.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
In your training for journalism, you majored in journalism, right?
Communication arts
Yes.
and publishing, sir.
Are you aware of the psychological phenomenon called illusion of truth effect?
I'm not sure we discussed it, sir.
So
Mr. Chair.
it means that when a repeated information is repeated again and again, it's likely to be perceived as true regardless of the factual accuracy.
Okay, sir.
For the record, let me ask, have you ever unknowingly or knowingly repeated content that turned out to be false or misleading? Have you ever? In the course of your posting, have you ever repeated content?
Knowingly, no. Unknowingly, I am not sure.
Mr. Chair, I ask it because I would like to draw your attention to this post dated March 13 under her new account, Crisette Chu. May I ask the Secretariat to flash it on the screen, where the resource person posted, and I'll read the first paragraph. May mga pulis at military daw na nagre-resign kasi hindi na daw nila kaya. Marami daw. They cannot be part of this government daw. Crisette, Mrs. Crisette, would you confirm that this account is yours?
Yes, sir. And Mr. Chairman, that's not fake news because there were TikTok.
wait.
And kindly, sir,
Mr. Chair.
finish the post, sir, to read. Finish the... Kasi nakakahiya
Ms.
ako, sir.
Ms. Crisette, as I've said, please let the representative finish the question first before you answer. Let us observe proper decorum.
So this is your Facebook account.
Yes, sir.
Did you post this?
Yes, sir. I
And
post the
in
entire
this first page, first paragraph, you stand by your statement that you said na maraming, let me read it verbatim, na may mga pulis na military daw na magre-resign kasi hindi na daw nila kaya. Marami daw. They cannot be part of this government daw. Tama po ba?
Yes, sir. And then
Saan
kindly
mo
read.
nakuha ang impormasyon na to?
Sir, if you go on TikTok, there are policemen.
How many policemen?
Sir, I'm not counting, but there are many
But you
policemen, and
said
that's a
marami.
general impression,
But
sir.
you said marami. So,
Yes,
so
sir.
you just
Marami,
post
sir.
it on the basis of a single,
Yes, sir.
2 or 3 posts?
Yes, sir. I will not count all that, but there's a general impression, sir. And sir, if
Have
you
you
read all
ever
my content,
Let me ask the question, and I'll give you the chance to answer. Have you ever made an effort to verify this post from official sources?
yes, sir, because there were people, there were already policemen, and I am sure our policemen can also say that there were policemen that are on TikTok that are voicing out their, if they have like feelings. So, if you could kindly, sir, read the rest. So, kasi nahihiya po ako kasi may mga police dito.
No. I just want to stand by your opinion. The next succeeding paragraphs are your the opinion of the resource person. I just want to stick to the factual statements you made. And that's basically saying that maraming police at military daw ang magre-resign kasi hindi na daw nila kaya. Marami daw. They cannot be part of this government. And apparently, the resource person, Mr. Chair, has gotten this information from other social media posts. And on a critical matter such as this, Mr. Chair, she did not make any effort, or unless you're contesting it, any
will
effort
contest it.
to verify it from official sources.
Mr. Chair, number one, I made sure to put the word thou because no policeman has ever come out to me. Well, before, but it was in my old when they would talk about their discontent.
Earlier you said you don't want to write a lie.
Yeah, and that's not a
Let me
lie,
ask you,
sir. That's
when
not
you
a
ask
lie,
the
sir.
resource person, naniniwala ka ba sa katotohanan? As a journalist,
Of course.
ang pagsasabi ba ng hindi totoo, hindi pagsasabi ng katotohanan, tama, di ba?
Mr. Chair, those are the impressions, not
No,
only of
I'm saying,
me.
I'm asking you, because I want to test if we have the same idea of what truthful is.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Ang hindi
Mr.
pagsasabi
Chair.
ng totoo ay hindi pagsasabi ng katotohanan, di ba?
Yes,
Ang
Mr.
hindi
Chair, and I
pagsasabi ng
maintain.
totoo ay kasinungalingan. Tama.
Yes, sir, and I maintain I'm speaking the
Ang
truth.
pagsasabi ng half-truth ay pagsasabi din ng kasinungalingan.
I am maintaining that I am speaking the truth of the impressions made on social media.
Okay.
Thank you, sir,
I don't
Mr.
want to
Chair.
argue with her position, Mr. Chair, but I just want to bring the attention of the committee to a news article showing the official position of the PNP. Can we flash that on? Can we flash that on the screen?
Comsec, please flash the content.
Okay, this is a press release. I think this is a news article from, if I'm not mistaken, from the Philippine Star, saying basically, according to the spokesperson of the PNP, hindi daw totoo ang nasasabing mass resignation ng mga miyembro ng PNP. Tiyak po ang pagkakasabi na walang isang miyembro ng PNP ang nagbitiw mula sa kanilang posisyon pagkatapos ng pagka-aresto ni President Duterte. Pinabulaanan nga po niya ang ilang partikular na mga post at larawan na kumakalat sa social media tungkol dito. So have you read this article after your post?
Mr. Chair, no, I have not read that article. And Mr. Chair, this article exactly affirms what I said earlier, that the mass impression of laymen like us, civilians like us, that there were mass resignations. The fact that the PNP...
But Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, you just said, yet you do not share lies on your post,
sir,
diba?
Sir, I shared, ano tawag? Mr. Chair, That's what I said. Kaya ako nag-include ng daw. These were impressions. The fact, sir, that our PNP had to write a press release means kami na hindi kami, wala kaming statistics. These were the impressions that were coming to us.
So you're saying that
And,
this is something
sir,
that
can I
you just...
also finish?
Okay.
Why it's not fair here?
Okay, Mr. Chair, does it mean that you have simply written this post out of your personal impressions or the impressions of you believe are posted in other social media without even making sure whether there is enough basis or have made any effort to verify your statements?
Mr. Chair, if I am not an insider in the PNP and they had to release that information, it means that they are correcting the general impression of masses like us. The fact that they had to write it means that there's a general impression, and to our policeman here, I would like to
And when you make
address you
those,
that,
Mr. Chair, when you make those impressions, you don't have any regard whether, now you find yourself apologizing to the policeman
no,
here.
sir, the
So
reason
you
I am
didn't make any
apologizing
effort.
is because my post was
Mr.
not
Chair.
about... Mr. Chair, can I
Point of
just
order.
please give me time to explain? Because it's been talked,
Ms.
sir,
Crisette,
kindly...
in accordance with our rules, as I've said earlier, this will be the third time that I'm telling all the resource persons, let the interpellator finish the question first. And in fact, if I impose the rule strictly, the resource persons can only speak until I recognize you.
Thank
So,
you, sir.
kung pwede lang patapusin nyo yung tanong bago kayo sumakot para hindi tayo magkakagulo rito.
Babalikan ko yung tanong ko. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Grisette, sa dami ng followers ninyo, in putting out information or posting items such as what has been presented before this committee, are you saying categorically that you do not feel any responsibility for the weight and for the consequences of your posts?
Can I answer now?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Chair, I am saying that I am merely writing about what I see as the pulse of the masses, which is that they were afraid that there were policemen. That's why also I am very careful that I said daw. And to our honorable policeman, I'm not apologizing because I wrote that. I'm apologizing because you don't know the context of what I wrote. And what I wrote was, please don't resign. Because if you really want to make a difference in our country, you can best do it from the inside. It was not a condemnation of people who were resigning, but a reminder that if you're given a rare opportunity to change something that you do not like, do
I
it
think, Mr.
from the
Chair,
inside.
I think, Mr. Chair, the resource person is not answering the question because we want to focus solely on those first two statements, which I think carries a significant weight. Yung pagsasabi na maraming pulis ang nag-resign at nagbibitiw, whether it's daw or what, we're presenting a scenario that could be harmful even to national security. And in fact, if you ask me, personally, there should have been legal consequences for this. I don't know. We have a representative from PNP, so we can hear from it. Mr. Chair, do we have somebody from...
Yes, General Torre, can you please answer?
Mr. Chair, General Torre, have there been any incident of massive resignations following the arrest of the former president?
If the qualification for the word massive, sir, is more than the normal, then there's none, sir. But there are regular resignations, but it's not connected to this issue, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What I'm trying to point out, Mr. Chair, is kung hindi ang isang social media influencer or somebody who uses social media doesn't feel responsible for one's postings, no? At even doesn't consider that whatever effect it may have on the minds of many others na nagbabasa o nakakabasa dun sa mga post niya, I think, Mr. Chair, we're treading in dangerous ground here. Kasi clearly, an audience of 10,000 per post is no small following. And I think, whatever the circumstances are, it's incumbent upon those who use social media to take responsibility for their postings, especially when such matter actually affect national security and affect our society as a whole. And I think in this case, this is something that we should carefully consider, especially that the resource person, Mr. Chair, in many of her posts, have actually made accusations, criticism, or exposés about public officials, about public offices and agencies. And I think we have to draw the line whether the canons of journalism, especially that Mrs. Crisette Chu is a journalist by profession, that there should be a clear demarcation between personal posts, especially what should determine, I think, Mr. Chair, should be the content of the post rather than who the one writing is. And especially in the case of Mrs. Crisette Chu, her being a journalist, make sure that a serious journalist, as she mentioned, will not publish rumors, because basically the way she explains it is that she has made this post on the basis of social media rumors. The ones who publish social rumors are actually those who are showbiz reporters. So the article on the resignation, and you can see in the following post, there has been no effort, Mr. Chair, to actually verify. May I ask the resource person again, Mr. Chair, after learning, have there been any efforts on your part to rectify or to correct the impression that you said you've articulated in your social media post?
Mr. Chair, can I answer this, sir? He's belaboring the point that this is news. It was not news. The reason I said daw was that it was not news, but for me, that if this was true, and you could read it in my post, if totoo ito, please don't do it. I did not say, you can make a difference, you can make a distinction if you were trained in journalism between establishing something and saying, if this is true, please don't do it, and announcement, many policemen have resigned. That's the difference. I wanted to predicate what I wrote with something that was daw, because it was a reminder to our policemen that please do not leave us, please think it through, that you can do more inside. So, sir, for me, it was more an opinion piece based on the general impression of when I wrote it, sir.
So now it's an opinion piece, Mr. Chair. That's
All
that's
my
how she's
articles
referring
on
you.
Facebook are opinion pieces po,
So,
sir,
Mr. Chair, this would be my last point. Would you agree, Mrs. Crisette, if you would, I would be so direct that what you've written on your post is simply somebody's ranting, sensationalizing a rumor heard on social media without no effort to verify, with simply the effort to create some questions or to insinuate a situation that would actually affect national security. Because that's how you explained it. You simply sensationalized a rumor you heard online without considering, without even taking the effort to verify, and without considering the possible effects on national security on a matter that is very sensitive given the political situation of the country right now. and you feel no responsibility whatsoever to the 10,000 impressions or readers that may have, who may be influenced by the opinions that you raised. You really don't care about what people will do or say or take after reading your post. Is that correct, Mrs. Crescent?
Mr. Chair, I will reply now. Okay, sir, I do not feel any responsibility because my conscience is clear. It was not phrased as news. It was
I agree
something,
na, Mr. Chair.
sir.
I agree na. I'm not saying, yeah, I agree with what you're saying. It's not news. But you simply sensationalized on social media a rumor that you've heard or read or whatsoever without any effort to verify it as a responsible social media user and without consideration that given your following, the people who read and actually listen to you on a matter that's sensitive to national security.
Mr.
Wala
Chair,
kang
may I...
pakialam kung anong gagawin at iisipin ng mga tao, basta sinulat ni Crisette Chu, naniniwala yung mga tao, bahala maniwala sila hindi. Wala kang pakialam doon.
Mr. Chair, may I already reply? The fact that the PNP felt there was a need to issue a clarification meant it was not me who thought about it, that it was the general sentiment of a lot of people because there were a lot of posts going around. I never claimed to have first-hand information about this. That's why it was very important to me to say
But neither
maraming daw-
did you, Mr. Chair, neither did you say also in the same post that I do not have a first-hand information about this. Diba?
Yes,
Wala ka
Mr.
naman
Chair,
sinabi.
that was why I said daw, and it was not faced as a news.
3 words
but
does not, I mean,
but for me as a reminder to our policemen, sir.
Okay, granted arguendo that that's the case, no? Now that the PNP has actually explained, and you even hear General Torres say, Mr. Chair, Mrs. Crisette, that it's not true. Are you willing to apologize for anybody who may have thought wrongfully? You should say, you claim is not your attention. Are you willing to apologize to those who may have thought or have taken your statement as truthful and factual?
Sir, I will not apologize only because if you read the entire post, it was to support the PNP and it was a good post. It was not news. So, sir, I'm sorry if you think if
Mr. Chair, I'm saying, aminado naman ho ng resource person na nakuha lang niya yung chismis sa social media. 'Di ba? Tapos ginawa niya ng buong kwento na yung mga police, this and that. That I would leave it to you because that's your opinion, calling on the police for whatever. But I'm asking you now the police itself, the police organization, officially, and General Torre has now confirmed that, saying that there has been no mass resignation. Are you willing to rectify? Because many would have read your statement and read it without the doubts. Maybe some people actually, we have more than 30 clippings of your post, and people in their comments actually take in your statements as truthful. Now you're presented with an example that your statement has been debunked officially by the police and General Torre, who's here with us. Are you still not willing to correct yourself officially?
Sir, Mr. Chairman, in my training for journalism, the DAO is
you
very
know,
important, sir.
Mr. Chair,
And
the
also,
problem
sir,
with our resource
to our
person
police,
is
sir,
she claims to be a journalist whenever it's convenient and a private person whenever it's convenient. And if you go back to my manifestation earlier, Mr. Chair, that's actually the problem that we have today. You have people who are able to amplify issues without being bound by the canons of journalism. Diba? Subukan kaya ng komentaristang sabihin yan on air, on radio, kung hindi yan matanggal yung license niya sa KBP. And our social media influence, well, not everyone, but those who are able to peddle on sensationalized news or rumors on the basis of mere rumors, no? I'm not bound by any accountability. Don't even, as the resource person has said, Mr. Chair, doesn't even feel responsible for the consequences of her statements. And I think we're treading on dangerous grounds here. Because, as I said earlier, something that you repeat over and over again, for someone who has a following of 10,000 per impressions per post, 100,000, following of 500,000 in her previous account and 200,000 in this current account, that's something that should be considered. Where do we draw the line between one statement and the accountability that he or she must bear for her readers? If this was a matter, Mr. Chair, and I'd like to wind up now, that affects my person, I wouldn't really mind, because I think being criticized openly comes with the job that we have. It comes with being elected to public office. But when it is a matter of national security, when it is a time when the country should be protected rather than weakened by all this misinformation and disinformation, I think we need to draw the line. I think that's all for my question, Mr. Chair. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair, respectfully po, this is what I would like to say, is why a lot of people are afraid to speak out and are afraid of this
Mr. Chair,
kasi yun po yung sinasabing prior restraint na parang natatakot kami to speak out. Because, sir, people are watching us. The Filipinos are watching us. And
Mr.
I know
Chair.
they're not stupid, sir. They know what
Mr.
they
Chair,
mean
may-
by thou, what we say by
Ms. Crescent,
thou.
why? Do you feel threatened now?
Yes, sir.
Are we...
Yes, sir, because, sir, may I, yes, sir,
I think
feel
there are
threatened
many
now,
people
sir.
here. I don't think we are harassing you.
Sir, not you, sir. Mr. Acidre, sir. Because, sir, may I just share that we have a history because we are both from Leyte.
Anyway,
And, yes, sir, and I have been
Mr.
a
Chair,
vocal
I already,
critic, sir.
Mr. Chair, if
Ms.
I may.
Crescent, I think Representative Acidre has already finished his
Thank you, sir.
interpolation.
Sorry,
so
sir.
maybe...
Mr. Chair, I already said in my opening statement that whatever she posted many things about me, but I would not discuss that. But I think, because I think criticisms like that, however unfair it is, comes with the territory of public service. But for someone to comment on national security, for an issue that affects our country, I think that's when you draw the line. I don't think this is about silencing anyone. I don't think this is harassment, because why would you feel harassed when you believe that you've been saying the truth? Because no amount of harassment can ever drown the truth. But if you've been using such power and influence to sensationalize, to influence, to manipulate adversely, without taking even responsibility for what you said or wrote, I think that's not silencing someone. That's just putting it right where responsibility, where personal responsibility should be upheld. And that's it, Mr. Chair.